But one word before that, on the Epstein files, you've had names of the Prime Minister and Hardeep Puri and even industrialist Anil Ambani come out. You raised this in Parliament, and the moment you uttered the word Epstein files, you had the Deputy Speaker and the BJP, of course, pouncing on you and saying you can't talk about Epstein files. How dangerous or how concerning is this development to you, where just these names have emerged so far in the Epstein files?
No, it's hugely concerning to anybody and everybody. How the international politics, the policy decisions are arrived at the instance of such manipulations or manipulators. This is something, and he's a convicted offender. He was a convicted offender. And there is a reference about our Prime Minister linking US, India, Israel, how, he danced to the tune of Israel. Maybe like that. These are all very disturbing, perturbing observations. And that's what I said in the beginning, that if the Parliament had the privilege, inverted comma, to discuss about fictional files like Kashmir files and Kerala files, why is it that the Parliament of India is not permitted to discuss about substantive file which is under the consideration of various government agencies, not only in US, other countries? You had seen, premiers of other countries commenting on Epstein file, the disturbing revelations that has come. So I feel that in order to ensure the accountability of the executive, in order to exonerate our Prime Minister, that also is very important, to exonerate the Prime Minister from that blemish which has come out, it would have been in the fitness of things that these things were permitted to be discussed in the Parliament and government response to it. See, a MES spokesperson has issued a statement dismissing the Epstein file. Does it mean that MES spokesperson is more important than the Parliament, more important than a member of Parliament? So it's a prerogative of the Parliament to discuss about all those issues which concerns this country and those matters pertaining to the executive, because it's our task and our assignment, job by the Constitution to ensure accountability of the government. That is precisely why the Parliament is there. So the moment if I say Epstein, I'm shut out. It's not according to the rule. I don't know who decides this rule. What is this rule about? I really don't understand. It's like the earlier kingdoms and emperors were anything not very palatable to the emperor, that is against the nation. So we have come to such a stand. If it is anything slightly embarrassing to the Prime Minister, then it is something not suitable to the country.
Before you come, I want to give the context to the audience on the trade deal itself, because while we are speaking, a joint statement has come out from US and India. For our audience, we'll show those joint statements to you on the screen. And it all began with, of course, the US president taking to his favorite platform, Truth Social, announcing that at the request of Prime Minister Modi, a trade deal has been finalized between India and the US. In the joint statement that has come out this morning, and I will read just parts of it before I get Dr. Brittas' comment on that, it says that the US and India are pleased to announce that they have reached a framework for an interim arrangement regarding reciprocal and mutually beneficial trade, bracket interim agreement. Now, the biggest contention here has been agriculture, and there are two mentions that agriculture finds in this joint statement. First is India will eliminate or reduce tariff on all US industrial goods and a wide range of US food and agriculture products. And the second mention is recognizing the importance of working together to resolve long-standing concerns. India also agrees to address long-standing non-tariff barriers to the trade in US food and agricultural products. Now, Dr. Brittas, India has maintained that the interest of the farmer will not be compromised. But we're seeing that compared to the US, New Delhi has left a lot of room, they've left a lot of questions unanswered as far as the trade deal details are concerned, particularly agriculture and Russian oil. How do you see the developments over the past few days on the India-US trade deal? What is your sense? Has New Delhi conceded to Donald Trump in that sense?
See, what we said, what we actually underscored have come to be true now. Even this joint statement's first paragraph is a matter of concern to us. I don't know who decided that the first paragraph would be something a slap on the face of the government. See, I mean, whatever have been stated by Donald Trump, his agriculture secretary, his White House secretary, have come to be true if you just go to the fine print of the joint statement that has come. I just read it in the morning also. So I was surprised. Why is it that they have put opening up of our market for the agricultural products of US being kept as the first paragraph? That itself is something which is very strange. So India will eliminate or reduce tariff on all US industrial goods. All US industrial goods and wide range of US food and agriculture products. So it's very clear now. Now, see, our concern has been like this. You need to have all the stakeholders on board before signing such treaties with the United States. In other democracies, like even including US, all the international agreements need to be ratified by the parliament. Here we don't have such a practice or such constitutional provision. Nevertheless, when the parliament is in session, any policy decision that are being arrived at needs to be first divulged to the parliament, first announced in the parliament, rather than being announced on Elon Musk's X platform. You can very well understand now. So, our Prime Minister, who talked in terms of decolonization, wherein we will even present our budget on our timing, that is our morning time, had to wake up in the night to respond to the teasers of the American president. You remember that the first teaser which came from Donald Trump, that was after 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Then he asked, wait for the details. The Prime Minister had to wait for 1 hour. And only after 11 p.m. in the night, the Indian Prime Minister had to tweet. So even Donald Trump made our Prime Minister to be awake in the night so that he instantly responds to it. Is this the so-called decolonization this government talks about? Is this something, a milestone the government achieved by changing the time of budget presentation, which was 5 p.m., which was to suit the white man's interest. That's why we brought it to 11 a.m. Right? Even the Indo-US trade deal announcement came in the night. The BOs, our cabinet ministers were seen praising Donald Trump. Now the joint statement has come. All that has been stated by the United States White House, the Agriculture Secretary, the President himself, are incorporated very much in the joint statement. Is anything being left out? Nothing is being left out. So it's natural that the opposition is agitated over such things, because we are not doing this protest just for the sake of politics. It's for the sake of the Indian people. Their interests need to be catered to. Their interests needs to be upheld. And one more thing I'll tell you. See why our agriculture should be protected. The US agriculture sector is highly mechanized and the production is very cheap. Unlike European Union. The moment you open the gates of India, our market for the US agriculture products, the floodgates will be opened. What about the 13 million hectares of soya, the corn, maize that we cultivate? What will happen to these hapless farmers? I can tell you one thing, my experience. I am from Kerala. See, when the ASEAN treaty was signed, we pleaded with the then Congress government, don't do it because it will have far-reaching impact on the cash crops, especially on rubber cultivation. See, most of the rubber farmers became pauper. In the sense, the rubber price was sluggish or plummeted. The same thing can happen to our agriculture in North India, who produces all these products which America claims to be exporting to India. And we have been always talking about our sovereignty, our strategic independence. See, in my speech, I asked, who is the petroleum minister of this time? Is this Hardeep Singh Puri, my honorable friend? Or is this Donald Trump? There is a country which decides about the purchase of oil by India. I can tell you, see, it's not simply I'm talking in terms of political rhetoric. See, it's US which decided we will not buy the oil from Iran. We stopped it. It's the US which decided that we will not buy the oil from Venezuela 6 years back. We stopped it. It's the US which is deciding that we will bring down the oil import from Russia or will end the oil import. It's again the US which decides that we will import the oil from Venezuela through US as a middleman. See, we do not even have our strategic independence, autonomy, even in a facet called energy security. So what's the plight of this nation? Now I'll tell you this $500 billion import. Please, it's 5 years, but still let us understand the quantum of amount. It's at present, if you look at the rupee dollar rate, it's something like 45 lakhs crore of Indian rupee worth products will flow from US to India. See, your total import in a year is something like 900 billion. So you can understand what is the level of import that is going to happen from US. US will be thrusting on us all those products which they don't want. All this inferior technology, all their equipment, all the armaments, all the military things, they will compel us to buy. So let the parliament which is in session have a clarity on what are we going to import from US, from other countries. That's all what we are seeing.
But Dr. Brittas, the Commerce Minister, that day he was addressing the Lok Sabha and there was chaos and the House was adjourned. He then put out a post on X saying that, look, I was wanting to talk about the trade deal in Parliament, but the opposition is not letting me talk about it. They're making noise. How do I talk? That is what the Commerce Minister said, and he put out a statement separately.
See, I'll tell you one thing. Cock and bull stories come from the ministers now. And nowadays, I don't see any relevance to the statements being made by cabinet ministers because it's all completely loaded and doesn't have any factual propositions. Can I tell you something? Because in Rajya Sabha, if a minister makes a suo motu statement, normally, not in Lok Sabha, but in Rajya Sabha, the members have the right to ask clarifications. That has been the healthy practice convention for many decades altogether. This time, I was there in the Rajya Sabha. Piyush Goyal made the statement. On completion of his statement, we all got up and said, we have certain clarifications to seek from the minister. The chairman quoted a rule saying that since it is a matter of national interest, some issues are there, we are not in a position to ask questions. Then I stood up and said, it's on record of the parliament. I said, look, sir, see, it's not a matter between government and opposition. It's a matter for the people of this country. And anybody and everybody in this country will be having one question or other in their mind. So this opportunity of seeking the clarifications should be permitted. If at all, I said that, if at all, you, that means the chairman, finds any question that is not appropriate, inverted comma, to be discussed at this time, you disallow that question. I told the chairman. So even we proposed a via media position wherein which the commerce minister had a golden opportunity to obliterate the concerns of the people in the form of clarifications and the reply thereof in Rajya Sabha. They ran away virtually. They ran away. These are all part of the records of Rajya Sabha. I challenge the commerce minister, let him contradict what I say now. Every bit I said is part of the records of the House.